Yep.
Question is, can you feel it? Snowmobile. Yeah, I'm drill. And the beats I kill. Cold like snowmobile. Hey, snowmobile. Yeah, I'm drill.
I'm 2 for 2 on songs, just so you know.
Cold like snowmobile.
It gets better. Hold on.
Hey, 6 feet of snow, 10 grams of snow, and an ounce of blow, and a house to stow, and a house to stash. Kick that dough, cause I need the cash. Where you at now? With them packs now. Fuck you mean I'm fresh out.
I mean, could there be a better song to start off an episode? A little snowmobile episode.
Especially like with the conversation we were having before.
Correct.
Perfect
Yeah,
segue.
I mean, we kind of nailed it. So here we are, episode 64, Mainly Stoopid Podcast. At HughMac87 on everything, at Foulfly on everything, at Mainly Stoopid Instagram. And then with us, joining us, is a man with no social medias.
It's a rare breed.
I don't know if we
these
just
days.
do we just call him Ivan to protect his government name, or
Yeah.
I made sure I
think
burned
I-
my fingerprints off
Yeah.
before I came. So
that's right.
I like to refer to him as Ivan.
The infamous neighbor up the road.
yeah, how you guys doing?
We're
Thank
doing
Bringing me along.
But so
happy to have you.
we are full into ice season.
Hard water.
Duck boats put away. All the decoys are upstairs, not even close to organized or one bit put away, but everything got put away. George actually came down and helped. Fucking miracles. Miracles do happen. But
All right.
got the boat wrapped up. It's still sitting in the shop. I got to put it out back, but it's been colder than a witch's tit here the last 2 days, and I am not interested in being outside.
It's a balmy 28 degrees right now, which I thought was pretty impressive.
It's very nice right now.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yesterday was not.
Yeah, last night at this time, it like hurt to be outside.
So how was how was your sleeping situation last night?
It was better.
Yeah,
I intervened before I went to bed. I can't say much.
I hear you. Yeah, it was and I know I say this every goddamn week, but them fucking pellet stoves, 74 in the house all the time.
Like, see that just, that just, and it's such a nice heat too. Like it.
Yeah, it's very warm. The only problem is my office is like sort of so far off of the house. It is not 74 in my office. So I finally broke down today and brought up the little skirt heater that I have out here to
That guy?
To warm it up.
Yeah. And it's got a temperature controller, so I just set it at 70. I wasn't trying, to blow myself out of there, but I've been working in fucking sweatpants and sweatshirt and slippers.
Yeah. See, at our old
Rough
apartment,
life.
we had a monitor space heater, not space heater, but it was a propane monitor heater, and heat was included in the rent.
Beautiful.
So I
74
crank that.
degrees all the time.
Exactly. And it was my favorite type of heat, though, is when you're sitting in an ice shack or a smelt shack, and it's like you're down to your t-shirt, just about to strip off your pants and sit in your underwear.
See, I'm similar, but mine is driving around in the wintertime. My truck will always be at 90 and blowing hard, and I will drive in a t-shirt. It comes from plowing. Like,
yeah,
I used to love plowing in literally a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Plowing t-shirt, sweatpants, and muck boots. Fucking send it. Don't need anything fancy. Got to be comfy.
Hugh, the only thing with that, though, when you're in the shack and it's too hot, you step outside and you're friggin' freezing.
after about like 10 seconds. Like you step outside, you're like, man, this is nice. And then it's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I gotta get back.
You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, I can breathe
then,
because it's not
and
900 degrees.
And then you play the game where you like keep the door cracked a little bit.
Yeah.
And the guy that's sitting next to the door is always like, can we close this door? I'm freezing.
Yeah.
You're parked right next to the heater going, no, motherfucker. I need some cold air.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike you guys, I was outside yesterday.
Yeah, someone decided to take a little rip in the four-wheeler.
Yeah.
Which I heard he didn't even fucking wave.
Yeah.
You know, some people
I
in
want to
Maine,
address this, Hugh. How many other guys do you know with my truck that would have a four-wheeler and a jet sled strapped to the top?
Well, like, excuse me.
basically a jet sled on the roof as a roof rack.
Yeah. The back rack came in full effect.
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, like I passed you and I knew it was you immediately.
You want to take a sip of water there, buddy?
Yeah.
Christ. What the fuck?
I want to clear my throat listening to you.
I don't know what just happened.
Damn frogs.
Yeah. Old fucking Omicron slipped in. Oh, there.
I think I got it.
No, a little bit.
It's a little better.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there it
you go.
is. He's back.
I'm back.
Just went to fucking 75-year-old Hugh there real quick.
Yeah. Like previous smoker, 20 packs a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you and I was like, I think that was Evan. And I really did mean to text you, or call you. And then my mind started like going other places. And then last night when I texted you and you're like, yeah, that was probably me.
It's probably me. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it didn't register until I was already past you.
Well, I was keeping an eye out because I was like, I probably would see Hugh on his commute right now. But then I was too busy drooling over a cup of coffee, getting up there. But it was good. It was chilly, but I hit the parking lot. It was -3. Got everything unloaded, packed up, drove out in the ice. It's great. It's quiet. Nobody else. I mean, like one guy came out later on. And then the only other person I saw was another guy from the county. This is kind of a funny story.
He's real set up to go.
No clue. So he shows up. So I fished for about an hour. And then my wife was like, hey, I'm not feeling super hot. And so I came home earlier than I was expecting. But I had a trout just hammering just nibbling the bait right off the hook. He was just like, book. One flag. Like I literally drilled it, set it, walked maybe 30 yards away to put another trap in. And I turn around because I was like, did I just hear that go up? Bam, there it is. So I go back, empty hook, just naked, dangling there, barely pulled. So I do the bottom knot technique. Yep. You hit the sounder and you tie the knot. So pulled maybe 6 feet out. I was like, all right, I'm going to play this game. Rebait it, walk back, finish doing the other one, turn around, flags back up. Okay. Go back over.
Son of a bitch.
Same thing. Naked hook dangling there. I'm like, what's the deal? So I'm checking the drag, reel turns fine. I mean, it was cold, but it didn't freeze that much. And so I don't know what the deal was. So rebait it, put it back down, walk 5 feet away, auger a hole, get my jigging rod. And I'm like, all right, let's play. Let's do it. And then nothing. So I was like, all right, 15 minutes of that out there. I was like, about enough of this. A little chilly. Go back in the shack. And then I didn't get another flag on it, but I got that text like 30 minutes later. I walk over there, naked hook. I was like, that is a sneaky little bastard. But did pull out one 12-inch crappie, which was kind of cool. I didn't realize that they were in Mousom.
Yeah, I think they're about everywhere right now.
Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, so that guy from the county, he shows up and he's like, yeah, how thick's the ice? Think it's thick enough to bring the truck out? It's like, sure, if you want to lose it, that's no problem.
Yeah. Leave that truck right over there, pal.
Yeah.
or at least wait till I'm off the ice.
I know. It's like, I just don't want to see you do it. No, he's like, well, by now up in Fort Kent, you'd be fine. I'm like, cool, but you know where you are, right? You're nowhere near. It's friggin' raining. It was 50 degrees a couple days ago.
Yeah.
How much ice is there on Mousom?
6.5 to 7.
7.
Probably more now.
Yeah. It was solid. And it was nice ice too. Like when we were there, Garrett, I don't know if you looked at the side profile. It was clear.
Yeah.
It was like really solid, strong ice.
It probably made some ice last night.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. It still had a lot of, I don't think they got the same rainy crap that we got down here, because it wasn't really a crust. It was still pretty light, fluffy snow on top. But I mean, it's nice up there right now. There's a lot of sled tracks.
Even on Saturday when we were up there, right? It was cold, definitely a cold day, but we had everything set up pretty good. Had all the kids out, wives, family, everything.
Yeah.
And we get there. We're the first trucks in the parking lot, and we're unloading. And then
except for that ding dong.
This ding dong pulls in with a trailer and a fucking like 350 fucking beat to fuck Grizzly or some. I don't even know what the
Polaris.
fuck. Oh, was it a Polaris?
Yeah, it was an old
like
small Polaris.
96 independent rear suspension.
Oh,
they fucking pull this thing out, throw a sled behind it, and he's like, "Oh, do you think we'll be all right?" I was like, "Well, we came up here and checked ice yesterday because I'm not about to put myself on ice I haven't checked."
We're responsible ice anglers, but yeah, dude.
And I'm like, "Yeah, it was like
parking lot.
5.5, 6 inches in most of the areas." And he's like, "All right, cool." And we go walking out. And the fucked up thing that I couldn't figure out still is like they were unloading the trailer when we started walking. Dude, we were fully set up and basically starting fishing by the time they came down onto the fucking pond.
Yeah, I think we had like 5 traps in at that point.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you've been doing, but all right, cool. And then
they're probably smoking a J-bone.
Well, dude, so they come down, they hit the ice, and they are fucking just hammering. No stopping, no checking ice, no nothing. Like just came by us. And dude, they came by us, and them fucking wheels were almost touching the fucking body of the fucking 4-wheeler. And they're each sitting on a fender because, you can't be gay when you're ice fishing. So I'm like, boys, it's fucking past that. Like at the very least, have you each sit in the middle so you distribute the weight evenly on the machine, and then just have the other guy fucking face the other way if you're fucking that homophobic. But you're in Stanford. I know you're fucking queers. So here you go.
Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure the guys either was a 2-wheel drive 4-wheeler or the 4-wheel wasn't working.
So I had another theory about that.
Okay.
Is with the 2 of them fucking idiots on it and pulling a sled. It was so fucking heavy in the rear.
Yeah.
That they were floating the front.
Probably because they went by matted.
Yeah,
she was pinned.
And she was not running great either.
Just farting along.
Yeah.
Wasn't making any headway. I mean, they were.
I love it.
So they get up, they go right by us. And as they're going by, I'm like, I feel like a little bit of a civic duty here. I'm like, hey, you got at least 6 inches. You're looking pretty good. He's like, what? Shuts the 4-wheeler off. The other guy's like, hey,
don't shut the fucking thing off.
I might not turn back on. All right. This is going well.
That's hilarious.
He's like, well, what'd you want? I was like, I'm just saying you got at least 6 inches here. He's like, oh, yeah, we weren't worried about it. I was like, okay. But everyone else out here is walked. You're the only one with a machine. So you're not the least bit worried. The only one who had tracks out there too.
Yeah.
No sleds.
There'd been no machines on that ice.
Yeah.
There. I take that back. There was a snowmobile that ripped diagonally across, not anywhere near where we were though. Like, there was a sled track
into the bay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
But there was nobody had gone down the lake, like towards the big lake at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they just head off into there. And I was like, you're in 40 something feet of water right there. Like you go through, you're fucked. Now
they got all set up.
And it's like, all right, so now I have to sit here and watch this. So like, I'm going to be responsible to call the police if you fucking go in like a fucking numbnuts.
That's all you got to be responsible for. You don't have to be responsible for saving them.
Yeah, but still,
it was, but it got to the point. So they got all set up, and another buddy that we were fishing with is familiar with the old electric lettuce, knows the scent. I think we all do, but
yeah.
So we were sitting there and he's like, man, I keep smelling weed. I don't know what it is. I get a little bit of a whiff, and they got their clam shack set up. I'm like, oh, just clam bake.
It was a clam bake shack.
Clam bake, yo, clam shack.
I don't even know if they baited hooks. I mean, they did eventually, like probably 3 hours later, get a flag. But I mean, they went out, they set like maybe 5 traps and then just sat in the shack.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of effort just to sit and smoke some weed. I'm sorry. Like,
dude, they were probably sitting in the shack, just like laughing their ass off, going, we're clam baking the clam shack.
Yeah.
That's,
or they're sitting there going, holy shit, man, I can't believe we made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then so
it's only 6 inches of ice.
Oh, geez, dude.
And they pack up and they leave in between, and they're coming by, and dude, that thing was struggling.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because it just about damn near died at least a dozen times going by us.
Yeah.
It was like wide open, dead, wide open, dead, wide open, dead. I was like, dude, you bring that over somewhere and get it checked out, buddy.
Yeah.
No secret there. That thing ain't running right.
For sure. I was up on Winnipesaukee fishing one year. This is probably 10 or 12 years ago. And there was a lot of ice. There was probably, I don't know, where we were at least 2 feet, maybe a little bit more.
That's nice.
And there was fucking motorhomes driving by on the ice. And I'm like, I don't.
They have an airport.
Yeah, Winnipesaukee and Sebago does too.
Yeah,
Moosehead, they've all got them. But it was just like a motorhome weighs a lot more than a plane. You could put a Piper Cub on 8 inches of ice, but
yeah, you'd be fine.
I don't know. I don't know about sailing $100,000 Winnebago across fucking Winnipesaukee.
Hey.
I guess if you're about to put it on the ice, you kind of got the money of just saying, fuck it. If it goes, she goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're in the Midwest, where like by December you can plow out an ice road and you go, all right, yep, gonna have 24 inches here.
Yeah.
Before Christmas. I mean,
those dudes up in Minnesota and shit, and those shacks they have now that are all hydraulic driven.
Yeah.
The wheels retract and the fucking front tongue retracts, and you just set a motorhome down on the ice.
Yeah. It's like those, like you watch those YouTube followers like Murray, that kid Murray or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes out to those. I mean, that's got to be a moneymaker. They got to just pile on the fucking money,
dude. I want to say, Jay Siemens. I think I've sent you a couple things, and I know you sent me that.
Yeah,
that
he does the meat eater stuff. He's the meat ice fishing guy,
the Canadian angle or whatever. So he did one where it was like spending a night in a $35,000 ice shack, and that thing was beautiful. I mean, it's like a fifth wheel motorhome. Yeah, it's huge. It's got sleep like 5 people. It's got TVs everywhere. Guys are in there playing like Xbox on the big screen or watching football. And then down below, you're sitting there watching your live view or whatever. It's pretty totally different fishing.
Now those are cool, but like my favorite type of ice shack is in Joe Holland's series on East Grand Lake with those guys from Matthias.
Yeah.
Those setups, like with the wood stove and the flip down bunks, and just like the way those are built. Yeah, they're built probably better than any of those tow behind shacks that they have.
Yeah,
but they're just like it's like living in it's like a mobile home version.
Yeah,
like the trailer trash version.
My roommate in college, so we had welding 1 and welding 2 in college for courses.
Yeah,
for his welding 2 was basically, it was just a senior project or junior project. It was literally you'd already learned everything you needed in welding 1, and then welding 2 was just like you could either do one big project or like a couple small ones.
Yeah.
He built it.
See, that's practical.
And the school paid for all the materials.
Yeah.
And he got to work on it for free. And the school paid for basically everything. So he just used like little, like 1/8 inch thick angle iron or aluminum. And he ended up taking the whole thing.
Oh, man.
And then he put like just metal siding on it after he put foam board on it. And the way he built it was so it had built-in bunks, so it would slide between your truck wells.
Yep.
So you could put it right in the back of a truck. It would overhang, and then he put a slanted roof on it, put a little mailbox wood stove that he built in welding class. Like, dude, it was awesome.
How did he get it in? Do you know?
It really didn't weigh, like 3 guys could get it.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah. So you just couple guys underneath, sliding in. 2
guys on each side, and then 1 guy in the back pushing, basically.
See, I've seen. So I was looking at shack designs because I was like, wouldn't it be kind of fun? Throw a hard shack together. It doesn't have to be anywhere far, like York Pond or something like that. And I know the ice is kind of iffy and whatever else, but you do something lightweight, and it's just like
there's too many degens in this world for me to want to put a shack somewhere. Like I'd have to be like if I had a camp, I'd have a shack for when I was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like, yes, there are degens, but I also feel like in the sportsman community,
I'm not worried about sportsmen. I mean, York Pond is a rarity where like it's close and really not a lot of people use it. But if you have it anywhere where snowmobilers aren't necessarily sportsmen.
See that generalizing.
No, I'm not generalizing.
I mean,
they don't have the same. I mean, it's like deer hunters and duck hunters. We have a different level of respect here in the duck hunting community.
Shots fired, Hebert.
Oh,
but
freaking Garrett with his nose up in the air.
Yeah, just staring right down.
Yes, that's duck hunters.
It's the Brave Boat Hob coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like on Ossipee, right by the boat ramp on that southern end, not the entrance that we would go into that part,
right,
but I mean, there's like a whole like a little shanty town, and everyone.
And like, I think if you were someplace where it was something like that, but like if you were to go like a smaller, more remote pond anywhere near, like I don't know, I would have a hard time leaving shit out.
Yeah, I mean, like
especially if it was something like I hand built and was like nice, like
yeah.
I know people aren't supposed to fuck with shit, but people fuck with shit.
Yeah, people fuck with shit. But I mean, I don't know. I guess so. Like my Eskimo shack, right?
You could just booby trap it.
Yeah,
yeah,
like those glitter bombs or whatever.
Yeah,
but I think
Claymore.
But that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, just if I can't have it, no one can.
Exactly.
But you got to remember, you have to unrig it every time you get there. But it comes with, I know the laws are different everywhere you go, but in Maine, it's just your name and your address on a shack. So those those pop-ups, it comes with a little name placard and you can clip it on the outside. So if you wanted to, you could leave it. I would not leave my pop-up unless I was sleeping in it. Right. Or it was something where like I set it up and I run back to get lunch or do something and come back. I wouldn't leave it not just for other people messing with it.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about something growing legs. It's like,
right. And that's something where you could take a couple ice anchors out and okay, away you go. But, at the same time.
Hey, do you remember your drill yesterday?
Nope.
Good job.
I know. I don't know. I'd be torn. I feel like York Pond, you could do it. It'd be just for something for us. Like, how easy would that be?
It'd be cool.
Be like, hey, Sunday, you guys want to go to the shack? And then everyone goes out and it's just like hot dogs, hamburgers, whether you're catching bass and pickerel.
Yeah, and it really probably wouldn't even be like a fishing shack, as more of like a warm-up hut.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, really, that's how we use the shack anyways, as when we go out. It's like, I'm not going to, unless like we are like cutting a big hole and we're going to sit there and try and sight fish. Like, I get bored inside the shack very quickly.
I think if I was going to have a shack, I would want to have it like on Sebago or
Yeah.
like Great East Lake or something like Sabatis. Is that one of the, like up in that area?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, all right, and you can go up, have it big enough where 3 guys can sleep fairly comfortable in it.
You're right.
Right.
And go up like
side of it
Friday,
like,
Saturday night.
You know, do you basically build yourself like what?
It's a camp away from a camp.
What Duddy does there.
Yeah.
He used to fucking live on, I don't know what fucking lake he went to.
Winnipesaukee.
Was it Winnie?
Yeah.
You know, he built a fucking shack that he would live up there pretty much all winter.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not having to buy real estate. You know, there's something to be said about that. And if it's something where you got like a flatbed trailer or something,
Right.
you can throw it in and be like, how about for the month of February, we're going to go to name it. And you're like, yeah, I'm fine driving 2 hours every weekend. Like, that sounds nice.
And then you fucking move it closer as the winter comes down, and then just got to make sure you pull it off in time. Or at least
that's a big thing.
Or pull your name off of it.
Pull your name off.
Either
of it.
way.
There you go.
Not
Or
advocate.
put somebody else's name on it.
I mean, that's another option. Yeah.
You're just trying to make a like a new structure to fish around. Yeah, Pike will love this thing. Don't worry, it's just going to stay there for the year.
Yeah, the government sinks shit all the time. Why can't I?
Yeah, it's an aquatic sanctuary.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to the dog sled idea, Hugh.
Yeah, I think that would be something that would work really well.
So, you know how we were chatting the other day about a jet sled?
Yeah.
Have you kind of thought about that more? I mean, I'm leaving at some point, I guess, maybe barely.
Allegedly.
So they say. And you're more than welcome to use that sled if you want to get some sort of setup. And
I think, yeah, I mean, as long as there's somebody there to help me up out of it, I should be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I can just sit in a lawn chair on the ice if I need to sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're taking a jet sled and dragging you, that means that you're taking a machine. And if we're taking a machine, you can sit on the back of that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Set you right up there. I don't know if you'll be able to, I mean, sort of like Ralphie and fucking Christmas Story by the time you're fucking all bundled up and stuff, but not sure the mobility. But
I don't know.
It's comfy.
But our fat butts on my quad, and we made it just fine.
I just gotta get to a point where I'm a little bit more comfortable on my feet. So it may happen this year, it may not.
How's the recovery?
Recovery's getting there. I started outpatient PT one day, but that's just the first day is always like an evaluation, like to see where your range of motion is and stuff like that. So tomorrow we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes of it.
The old nitty gritty.
Yeah.
That's what her shoulder is coming along. Had to cancel PT this week because York canceled school and is homeschooling. So that's nice. That's fun. It's great. It really is.
You know, we got to flatten the curve.
Yeah, we're in year 3 of flattening the 15-day curve. Sounds good. Yeah. I'm a believer.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, at this point, we were kind of talking about it the other day, but like at what point, I don't know, flattening the curve kind of really lost its steam. Yeah, the whole thing kind of got derailed.
I mean, we did flatten the curve into a ginormous ramp.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It almost made a half pipe.
At this point, it's like it's losing its luster.
Yeah.
The CDC doesn't even care anymore.
No, and now you're seeing everybody go against what the CDC says.
Yeah.
It's like, thought we just listened to those people all the time now.
We were following the science.
Believe in the science.
I believe in science.
I've said it. I'll say it again, and I've said it 1,000 times. I'm just so fucking sick of it. Like,
Yeah.
Vaccines, vaxxed, non-vaxxed, boosters, like cases, everything. Just shut up.
The thing that gets me the most is nobody will come out and say that they fucked up. Like, just have like a little bit of, honesty and integrity and say like, hey, we thought the vaccine was going to make it so you couldn't spread it. Turns out we were wrong.
I don't even know if they have to say we fucked up. They could just say, hey, it was, that was one outcome.
Yeah.
And we were being optimistic about it. And
we fucked.
Here's the reality, But it's, the same thing with the flu vaccine every year.
Yeah.
Influenza A, B, sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. It's like, well, it ended up being the other one.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's what it's going to be with this.
We hit the roulette table and we bet on red and fucking it came up black.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't get flu shots.
I know you don't.
Ain't about that life.
I did when the Navy required it, but that was about it. That was the biggest pain in the butt.
So headed expedition again this weekend.
Where you headed?
I don't know. We were talking about that a little bit today. A place that actually be good for you that wouldn't be too, A, it's close to you. B, shouldn't be too hard of walking is the old Bona Bags.
Yeah, I don't think there's much ice on that right now.
Well, York's got 4.
Yeah, I went out there the other day. I mean, it's not a great 4, but it's solid. I mean, it's a little bit like with that thaw we had the other day when it was raining and everything. So I meant to tell you this. I don't think I did, but someone got on there with a plow and plowed out like a really nice little ice rink, but everywhere around there, all their tire marks backing up, moving around. Dude, it is so chunky.
Yeah.
Frozen tough. I mean, it's hard to walk over it without getting ready to wipe out.
Like break an ankle.
And on 103 outside of Fort McCleary, that little pond, hockey pond. So somebody, I don't know if you guys have seen that lately, but you know how normally someone goes and plows it so you can play.
Yeah,
dude, they did the same thing.
Oh, really?
Right before it when it thawed and then it froze hard. Someone went on there and dude, it is gravelly.
It's fun.
Yeah,
there is a nice little York has got some people back into the old Mackey skate park, ice rink over on Bog Road. I don't know if you ever go there.
Yeah, I've been there.
We used to go there in high school and after high school and sink beers and play hockey like till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a cool little thing. They took down the boards a while ago, but yeah, that'd be another spot.
That's not a bad one.
One
place I'd like to try someday. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
One place I'd like to try someday is in that video that Joe posted. I mean, I'll say it because it's on YouTube. Snake Pond up by Sebago.
Right off of Sebago there, yeah.
Yeah. They were catching some monster brookies out of there.
Yeah, they were.
Well, did you catch the part of the video where the warden service said that they dumped a fucking truckload of fish in there?
No.
Yeah. They go, yeah, we tried to make it a little bit more advantageous for the kids to catch fish.
I think that's cool, though.
Oh, yeah.
I
mean, the main stocking. So I'm
sure that place is getting hammered now.
Oh, yeah. Of all the things that Maine does for sportsmen, the fish stocking program is about the only thing that is fucking beneficial. Everything else they do is fucking garbage. I've been trying to do it, and I shouldn't completely shit over the entire state of Maine as I'm saying this, but I would love to get like the Maine duck biologist on the podcast and just be like, what do you do? Like, honestly, this is from someone that is paying a fuck ton of money to this state over my lifetime to hunt waterfowl. What have you done to increase? And especially now seeing that you were part of the process that said we should go down to 2 mallards instead of 4. What are you doing to even try and create more habitat? Or are you just saying, we go down to 2 because we don't know what to fucking do? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What are you doing? And like deer habitat, do they manage any deer habitat? No. Like, so what does my license fee go do other than pay for roads?
It would be interesting to know that.
Like the fish stocking program is fantastic. They post everything. They know, where they're going to be, not necessarily where they're going to be, but like they're very open about, hey, we stocked here, we stocked there.
Yeah.
You've got a list that you can look at. You've got history you can look at. They tell you what they put in, where they put in, when they put in. Like, I don't know. It's a really cool program, and it's very lucky, especially for the southern part of the state, to have a resource like that. Otherwise, we'll be fishing for fucking pickerel and perch for fucking till we're dead.
You know what I'd like to see them put some more money into would be the lake and the pond reports, those surveys that they did.
You mean all the ones from like 58?
Yeah. So some of them have been redone, but the latest one I think I've ever seen, and if you guys have seen something else, but like 96.
I was gonna say 96, 98, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like, and those are really cool. I mean, there's probably not many other states in the country that have ever done that for bodies of water.
Yeah.
Like, especially to the not necessarily detail, but at least like to show, hey, this is where public access is. That's the only thing that I do see updated is like if they have
new boat ramp or like, hey, there's like portage over here or something. The one thing I do really appreciate, because if you look at other states stuff like Maine, they give you that, it's very cursory, right? But the little outline of the lake, and they'll say like inlet, outlet, whatever else, and it's not necessarily a bathymetric chart, but they do soundings, and then they show you with the circle, little X, the deepest spot. That's kind of cool,
right? And
then they have that whole write up. They go, here's the species found in here, like alewives, blah 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 blah, salmon, da da da, and they talk about, hey, like this would be a good fishery if it's maintained. We just need to get better access to this pond, lake, whatever, to allow more anglers, and then stocking would increase. So like, if they could, like, I understand the stocking is like great, and they do a really nice job, like you were saying, of reporting, but it would be cool to see them update those, because I mean I use those a lot. Like we all use them, especially when it's like, let's go try to ice fish something new, and you find the ones you can ice fish, and it's like, cool, what? But this is from 86.
Yeah.
That's
between that
a long time.
The Navionics app, Navionics is,
they are great,
unbelievably nice,
fantastic.
I mean, full charts of every body of water in the state of Maine. And I mean, some of them are definitely way more accurate. Like Moosehead has been professionally like charted, and it is very, very accurate. Like even things like Mousum aren't super well done,
but they're pretty good.
But they're pretty good, and they give you pretty good elevation lines and structure and what you see, what you can get.
I did notice some discrepancies though.
Absolutely.
On Mousum with Navionics.
Which is odd because that lake doesn't change.
I know, but one spot it was saying, so I had the wheeler and I was driving around, I had it like mounted up, and I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be in 25 feet of water, cut a hole, dropping down my sounder, and I'm like, okay, hit bottom, taught me not, pull it up. I'm like, that's 9 feet.
Yeah.
But I was, and I mean, that could just be my phone, right? But
phones are pretty fucking accurate.
Right? I know. And I wonder, like, it's not like those lakes change that much. It's not like you deal with a sandbar that's moving with a weird current, or like a friggin' hurricane comes ripping up off of Nova Scotia and we get some weird swell,
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's a lot closer than going
off those main maps.
Well, it should be 25 feet somewhere in a circle,
You just got to get one of those like pan optics things and do your own charting.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What's that?
Did you want to sponsor me? Jeez, that stuff's like freaking. It's cool. I totally agree with you. I mean, like watching all those guys use that. Jay Siemens did a great one where he did like Panoptics and like the live scope and all those different, like comparing all of them.
Dude, the one where he does the fly in and then he's sitting there doing the live scope, and
Yeah.
you can see his jig, and he watches like a fucking togue chase it up,
Yeah.
and like he misses it 4 times, but it's still right below him, so he just drops back down and brings it back up and gets him.
Yeah.
Dude, I would fucking never do anything else if I could jig. So this is a goal of mine this year. I know it's a goal of yours, is to catch a fish on my jig rod. Never caught a fish on a jig rod at all.
Yeah,
And
neither
so
have I.
as we're talking
No.
about this, and as we're, saying, hey, I really want to catch a fucking fish on a jig rod, his wife shows up. She sits down, sits down in a chair. Evan drills her a hole, hands her a jig rod. She drops down, jig, bam, fish.
Like
I was like,
that.
mother.
We all
fucker.
turned to her and we're like, "Are you kidding me, Kate?" And she's like, "What?
Yeah, it was
Look,
so
it's
easy.
a fish." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Dude, what the hell? Seriously?" Like we were out. It was minus 25 on Moosehead,
Yeah.
and Garrett and I, our eyes were frozen. We're sitting in the shack. Only time I've really ever fished in the shack was that day, and we jigged for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Straight. Check bait every 30 minutes. Not a single bite.
fucking thing.
Nothing. And she just sits down, just
I was on Sebago one year for their tournament, and I had bought that morning at Beatles Bait Shop. I had bought a bucktail jig.
Yeah.
Tied it on. I put a hunk of sucker on it. Sent it down to the bottom. I reeled it up probably, I don't know, 25 feet, and I'm bouncing it. Then I sent it back down, bounced it off the bottom. Then I'm just bouncing off the bottom. And my rod, it felt like it bent tip to tip. So I started reeling up, and then the knot on the bucktail jig pulled through because I didn't tie a good enough knot. Then the fish was gone, and I lost the jig.
If you can't tie a knot, tie a lot.
Yeah, apparently my hands were probably a little cold that day. That was like the coldest experience I had ever had.
chili fingers.
Moosehead last year was probably my coldest extended experience of my life.
It's not warm.
I mean, it was -3 without the wind.
Yeah.
When a brand new 4-stroke V-twin 4-wheeler does not want to start, it's fucking cold.
I almost returned it.
Yeah.
I would have probably just gone back inside the camp.
Oh, it gets better. I don't know if we really went over what happened that day, but the wind was blowing north to south on the lake. We're at the southern end.
We were leaving out of Greenville.
Yeah. And we cut a trail the day before. We had to dig it back out when we came back because the wind coming down, just blowing whatever snow was on the lake. There wasn't a lot of snow, honestly. I mean, it was probably like 8 inches of snow on the lake.
Yeah.
But it all just decided to blow over where our only lake access was. So we go out the next morning, and before we got the 4-wheeler started, and then we went down and we just dug it out because it was like, this is going to be fucking miserable. So we dug it out before we got on the 4-wheeler. So now we're all fucking hot as fuck because you're dressed for below zero.
Yeah.
Sweating your bag off, hop on the 4-wheeler. We get going. And it's the only time I've ever actually used the fur bomber hat front flap. Never knew what that was for until I'm on the back of a 4-wheeler trying to go like 8 miles an hour into a 40-mile-an-hour wind at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning to go ice fish. And I just fucking flipped that thing down. Couldn't see a fucking thing. Whatever. We go in. I die. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be a little bit warmer.
And from that
meanwhile, Evan is
frozen. Can't see. Eyes are fucking
dude.
literally frozen open.
It was so bad.
It was pretty cool.
From that day forward, there's always a pair of goggles on my 4-wheeler.
Lessons learned. You know, we learn, we improve, we get going.
Now you have a windshield.
Now he's got the grandpa windshield.
Yep. I look like I drive a Honda Goldwing. and I don't care.
Hey, comfort is comfort.
Comfort is
So
comfort.
speaking of that sled that our favorite Maine YouTube ice fisherman bought, I built one of those tonight after you told me it's not that bad. Now, granted, MSRP dead stock sled, $9,000. Sounds good. I hit 20,000 without fucking blinking an eye when I built it.
Oh yeah, I mean we're gonna like.
But they have an ultra high windshield. I went for that. I don't give a fuck what I look like. I'll look like a grandpa out there. You can make fun of me all I want. I built the 900 turbo. Fuck it. The turbo will cut through that wind. I ain't worried about a windshield.
Yeah, we need somebody to donate like 60 grand to the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to get a nice little sponsorship. I did send out an email for a future guest, and I have not heard back. I imagine they're probably busy right about this time of year, but I did email to see if the new, so I didn't realize this, Heritage changed ownership in May of last year.
Yep.
And
they see that
it's to their daughter and her husband.
Yep.
So sent out an email, said, hey, want to come on the podcast, talk a little bit about the traps, the history, and why. Because I really want to know why these fucking goddamn retards out in Minnesota don't use them. Because they use the little Fraybill fucking spool.
Those
tiny
things are
ones,
stupid.
and they're the stupidest pieces of shit. Like, dude, get a Heritage Laker and fucking, if you're worried about depth, there you go. But the other thing I wanted to say was that fucking mod we saw that Maine Trout Whisperer did.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would like to have them incorporate that into. I don't know if I sent you that. But basically, so like when you trout, if you're trout fishing or fishing on thin ice, you want to kind of keep your, maximize the water below you.
You want your reel in the hole,
right?
But not
frozen,
sticking out
Yeah.
like sewer dink,
And so, like, the Heritage Laker or even the regular Heritage traps, it sticks down a good 6, 8, 10 inches on some of them, depending.
Yeah.
And so his idea was you pull out the cross brace bolt and then you drill holes going down, because the way the thing is made, it doesn't, the flag and everything is all on that your main riser. So it doesn't matter where you move your cross brace, your flag stays the same. So you basically just offset your cross braces.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great idea. And I think they should put that into production where they have just an extra trap, like make a new model that's just, the fucking Heritage adjustable.
So to that point, are you 100% agree? They were on like 3.5 inches that day.
Yeah.
Barely. I mean, we've done dumber things.
We've done, yeah.
But so when we were up at, what was it, Indian Hill, coming into Greenville there?
Yeah.
They had, do you remember those tiny traps?
Yeah. They had the Heritage 20s.
Yeah. So my big thing, I don't like when the flag is super low. So those Frabill or I understand
any
the
of the
iFish
disc traps.
Like I understand the iFish Pro is a different beast because that's what the tip with the rod.
Right.
But those things, they're like tiny, and the little flag is like, it's like especially 4 inches off.
When you're talking about fishing that big water that they fish up in like Minnesota and Wisconsin and all that shit, like all those lakes up there, like you get a shit ton of snow. It's always blowing. So your hole's always going to get covered. So it's like, why wouldn't you want your flag to be taller? That's what I don't get. Like, maybe we need to find someone from out in the Midwest and ask them why the fuck they don't pull their heads out of their asses and use a Heritage trap.
Because they go, oh, you boys in the Northeast don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but we do.
Just kidding.
Fuck them.
But is it there's the Laker, and then who makes the Big Bear? Is that Jack?
Jack makes the Big Bear.
Yeah. Those things are massive. You seen those in person?
Yeah, they're like fucking 48 inches.
They're huge. They're sweet. I'd love to see some like those big pike traps.
Although I will say, going back to our favorite little YouTuber there.
I think he's frozen.
Are you frozen, Hugh? Oh, nope.
No,
he's awake.
He's just sleeping.
Sorry.
He just drifted off. He pulled the George. the favorite, YouTuber there. He's a jacktrap man, but he did have some heritages when he was doing his
big gear reveal.
Not just the big gear, but when he was fishing for northern pike.
I think, yeah.
Oh, also, the old man just texted me. He just had a meeting with the dog officer in town, who's apparently a newer guy, young guy. Not the canine handler that just cost the town $300,000, but the
What?
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah. So do you remember like a year ago or a year and a half ago when the canine officer in York released the dog on the old man that was the pediatric that like took care of friends of mine?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so they settled out of court for $330,000.
I mean,
except with zero admission of guilt, which is an odd thing to publicize.
Oh, I think you guys talked about this previously. But
we did. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, but couldn't you say paying money is an admission of guilt?
You could.
Or an acknowledgement of something.
Or you could just say, we're trying to just send him off into the sunset with a little change that he probably lost a shitload more than that in everybody fleeing from his business.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he owned his own practice. Probably made $300,000 a year.
Probably did okay.
Yep. You growing up, did you have like the same doctor forever?
Yes. I've got a funny story about that. So I remember as a kid having a pediatric doctor.
Yeah.
And then when I turned like 10 or something like that, I went to the family doctor, Dr. Thaler, who was always great. Every time I'd go see him, he'd be like, you smoking yet?
I'll do another.
And so then years later, when I started smoking and I went in for a physical, he was like, do you smoke? And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't smoke. That's bad for you. I was like, it's your fault.
Yeah. You've been asking.
He was like, what do you mean?
Years if I had smoked, and now I finally do. All right.
And now you're telling me not to. No.
Well, so that's the same thing. I mean, I literally had the same doctor from the first doctor I can remember as a kid, like under 5 years old. I still remember walking into the office for the first time. Like that's something that stuck with me. Well, he retired last year. Last November was my last time I ever saw him as a doctor. He retired. So now I've got this new guy who I had to Google who the fuck my doctor was because I had no idea. Now, to be fair, I had to Google my existing doctor that I had for the past 30 years because I could never remember how to spell his fucking last name. But you tell me how you spell Genzik. No fucking idea. Still don't. Went to school. I mean, literally one of my friends growing up was his daughter. No idea how to spell her last name. But what I'm getting at is my children have had a different doctor. I think we're on doctor 5 or 6. My oldest is only 7 years old.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we went to one. She decided to leave a practice and go to somewhere else. Okay, we'll go with the next one in line. Okay. Yeah, that person retired too. Okay, cool. We'll bring him over to York Family Practice. Oh, the one doctor we left. Oh, this doctor got arrested by the police and fucking got his ass bit by a fucking canine. Cool. Sounds good. Let's go to another place. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's going to fucking leave and start her own practice. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I don't remember. Like, I legitimately had the same doctor for 30 fucking years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What did you do over there? A fucking butcher one?
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Exploded.
It doesn't. These ones don't accept the crown cuts.
Yep. Oh, sorry about that.
So, Huey, how's the world of the small engines?
Good.
What's new in the world of small engines?
There's not much going on. We're running into, all the same issues that we've had the past 2 years with, like,
The supply chain issue.
Exactly. Like, one of the mowers that we sell, 30 of a year, like the X-Smart Navigator.
Yeah.
We were only able to get 5 so far.
Oh, good. That should go well.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough.
Now, we were talking earlier about battery-powered machines and such. How far do you see battery power going in the small engine industry?
I see it going very far in the handheld aspect of power equipment and like walk mowers and stuff like that. There are some companies coming out with some riders and stuff, but the big names like Husqvarna and stuff like that, you're going to see them more as far as like lawn mowers go as battery powered. I think you'll see them go to shift more towards automation than like a battery powered riding tractor.
Battery power and go right towards full on.
Yeah.
Autonomous map your own lawn and fucking send it.
Yeah. Husqvarna they've actually for a very long time been in the automation, like the autonomous mowers game for longer than anybody else. The Roomba technology actually came from Husqvarna's mower technology.
Oh.
And they've been in Europe. Those autonomous mowers in Europe are
the old European
super popular.
They always get everything first.
But there's a lot of landscape companies because manpower is an issue. The way these autonomous mowers work, like the ones that are out now, they don't go out once a week and cut your lawn.
Right.
They cut your lawn a little bit every day. It's only taken off a quarter of an inch. Or the way these autonomous mowers work, like the ones that are out now, they don't go.
Sorry about that.
So for a landscape company, if they bought a fleet of these mowers, they can lease them out to customers and have them and, have an iPad, say they have 10 of these mowers, they can pull up an iPad and look at each property and see what that mower's doing and see what it last mowed. And then once a week, they can send a smaller crew there and do the weed whacking and edging and stuff like that versus having 20 mow crews.
Yeah, but if you have 20 mowing crews, you're doing a minimum of 5 lawns of crew a day, like
more than that.
Right. So if you have 20 crews and you do 5 lawns a day, that's 100 lawns a day. That's what? 500 lawns a week?
Yeah.
Are you going to have 500 of these autonomous mowers?
I don't think you'll have 500 of them, but I could see a company like Piscataqua Landscaping having 100 of them.
Yeah. I can too, in the sense of like, if you can get like a apartment complex, like more commercialized, but like if you're talking about like, if I hire fucking Piscataqua to come here and cut my lawn, like they're not going to come drop a fucking autonomous mower here.
Well, no, they could, because the way these newer ones work, it maps itself.
No, but I understand that. But like, it makes more sense to have an autonomous one where, like, if say me and 4 neighbors all said, "Hey, we want you to be our company," and I think that would be like the selling point of saying, like, okay, we'll just set up a central hub. We'll go out, we'll map everything, and map where and how you can get to each house, and then send the mower, and then the entire neighborhood gets done. Like that's where like I could see the benefit to a landscaping company.
Are you telling me something?
No.
And it's also like you get into these cookie cutter neighborhoods where each lawn is, it'll have its own mower, but a crew could go there and do all the weed whacking and check the blades on the mower. One guy can do it in a day versus 3 guys, 2 mowers, weed whackers, leaf blowers. So the other cool thing that Xmark is doing, their technology is still in the early stages, but they have some zero turns that are starting to be autonomous to the point. So a guy could bring, it's going to be designed where you have 3 properties lined up like a commercial property. And you take the mower out. The way the technology is, like they're designing it, is you take the mower out, you drive the mower around the property in any obstacles, and it maps it. And then you get off and you hit go, and it does it. And then you go to the next property and you do it with that mower. And then after you get them all going, you could go back and do the weed whacker. So it's, you still got 3 lawn mowers, but it's one guy. It's the salary of one guy and a weed whacker.
Yeah.
So your cost is tied up in equipment, not labor.
Yeah, but I think you're already kind of getting to the point of you're kind of already there with your cost being tied up in equipment if you want to keep your equipment new.
Yeah, but I think it's one thing where it's like a slow shift, right?
It comes down to like what all these companies are, especially landscape companies, is manpower. They can't find people.
Yeah.
So these mowers are going to, I see, like, to get back to your main question, within the next 10 years, I see autonomous mowers, one, becoming way more affordable, 2, more widespread usage in homeowners and commercial grade. And then as far as like battery powered equipment in the next 10 years, you're going to see, I bet it'll be close to at least 75%, maybe more of handheld equipment will be battery powered. I mean, California has already outlawed it after 2 years.
Well, fuck them. I mean, we should not be using them for any sort of bar for anything except.
I understand, but that's just. I'm not saying that other states are going to do it. Other states will do it, but it's not. You're just going to see it more and more. And the technology that they're building out of this stuff is. I don't see any issues with it.
Yeah. My whole thing is, and there's so many deep dives on it and everything, but like, okay, you can't find the manpower now, right? Like people are looking for plow drivers, people are looking for landscapers and everything else. But so you start getting these jobs, autonomous mowers, etc., taking them over. What are these people doing? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like we run into it. I don't know if anyone on here knows anything about me. I ship out. I'm a merchant mariner. So I work on either commercial oil tankers or any other ship, you name it, I'd be on it. But like we have a hard time just finding people for that.
Yeah.
We're running 20 people on a 600. Even the big oil tankers I was working on out of Alaska was just shy of 1,000 feet. We had 21 people. And we still had a hard time finding people. It's just like, it's crazy. What are these people like? Where
are they?
I don't know. Yeah. What do they do? What the hell are people doing? Because I would love to do the same thing if I don't have to work.
Growing and selling weed.
That's what I need to do. I need to stop going to these weird places and just start selling weed.
Yeah, and you need to stop leaving like during fishing season.
Dude, I know. Yeah. You guys had that striper tournament. It broke my heart because I was in, I don't even know where
East
I was.
Bumfuck.
I think I was in Morocco.
Yeah.
Sweating my bag off. Just like, what sounds really nice right now is striper fishing with my buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, we were sweating our bag off.
I don't know if it was the same.
Man, I was red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huey took the sun's not tougher than me took thought process. Turns out for the 25th year in a row, he has lost to the sun. I can't say anything. I do the same thing. First time of the year, ain't no sunscreen hitting my body. Fuck it. Burn it.
Get a base.
Get a good base burn. Wait 2 days, then go back outside, and we're good to go. Yeah. I got a lot of family skin cancer in my family, but we're just gonna send it.
I think
right.
One of the first times I met you, it was like the next day or something. You were out fishing with a
shithead
acquaintance.
Yeah.
And my brother and I were surfing
in
an undesignated spot that we won't talk about. But so we meet them all the way up, pretty much at KTP, all the way up Spruce Creek, all the way at the top. And it was a beautiful day. My brother Cooper and I, it was like, yep, got done surfing, had a couple beers, shirts off, cruising on the boat, doing whatever. Dude, I have not been that sunburnt since I was like 16.
Yeah.
In like an hour and a half. It's like, what the hell happened? And I was miserable for like the next 2 weeks.
See, my miserableness only lasts like 2 to 3 days max.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm not.
I got home from that fishing tournament, walked in the house, took my sunglasses off, and my wife was like, "What did you do?"
My favorite is I enjoy trying to keep a raccoon going from like June until September.
Yeah, why not?
That and a flip-flop tan. I'm proud of flip-flop tans.
Yeah.
I love a good old flip-flop tan.
This year I'm going for a Choco tan.
Yeah, you would, you fucking queer.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing says I drive a Lesbro like a Choco tan.
I may even pick one of those up. Why not?
You probably should. Maybe get rid of the wife's Escape and get her a nice little Subaru Outback or something.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Right.
Those things coming up on you.
Did you get them fucking foam tips yet or what?
No, but what I did do is I changed out the rubber ones to the proper size.
Oh, yeah. That's probably a good idea.
So I did that.
You ain't no Magnum. Wear the proper size rubber.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just being honest with yourself, I think, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Don't, if you wear a size 9, wear a size 9. Don't think you should be walking around in a 12.
Yeah. Ain't no clown shoes around here.
Yeah. You know what they say about ear holes?
You got 2?
Yeah, exactly. I heard a funny, you guys have probably heard this saying, but it's, you've got one mouth and 2 ears, which means you should listen as twice as much as you speak.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good saying.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Nah.
So I got a weird question.
Your asshole also talks.
What's that?
Your asshole also talks.
And it also stinks.
True story.
Yeah. I do have a side tangent about the battery thing real quick.
What you got?
You guys know the Dakar rallies going on right now? So I think it's pretty cool. Audi, they took their e-tron, their electric SUV, and they're running an all-electric Dakar rally entry, which has been kicking butt. And
I can imagine.
There's another company running a hydrogen fuel cell truck that weighs 3 tons more than all the other trucks. So it's weighing in at 12 tons.
Jesus Christ.
Versus 9, which all the other trucks usually run at. But it produces, I can't remember the exact number, but it's like 100 liters of water an hour, which is pretty awesome when you're dealing with racing in the desert.
Yeah. Water's
a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's got, I want to say, a 400-mile range with 350 bar tanks on it. I thought that was pretty cool.
So now, here's the question, though, for the Audi. Like, because the Dakar is nonstop. You don't have to stop, right? It's not like,
well, so there's stages.
Okay.
And they've got like rest days and stuff. So you got like a start and a stop position, but it's like point A, point B.
Okay, so it's not like the 24-hour.
It's like it's not like a Le Mans or anything like that. Yeah,
because that's where I think you're limited in the batteries. And like I was talking with, I think we were talking about
about it side by sides and stuff.
Yeah, and like just going and like, okay, so you have a Tesla, and you go somewhere, and like say you didn't quite make it home in time to allow it to charge, like the downtime of having to wait to charge, I think has to be either lessened or, like you said, have a spare battery that can get you X amount of miles to get you home.
Yeah. I think a modular sort of fuel source, like if you look at,
I really like the Chevy, was it the Chevy Volt that had like a little small, like 1.5 liter engine? I think the Volt, or was it the
Bolt?
No, the Bolt is all electric. The Volt was the predecessor.
Why didn't they make different names? But yeah, one or the other. One or the other is a hybrid, and one of them is a true electric EV. Yeah, and that's like we were talking about that, right? With side by sides or anything else, and so say you go up and you are doing something like I don't know, you're gonna go camp on like some friggin' Allagash waterway or something in the middle of winter, and you got a battery powered. That's the only machine you got.
Yeah.
Right. You got this new Polaris Ranger that's all electric. What the hell do you do
when you get there and you can't get home on your mileage?
And the beauty of fuel, right, is you have so many joules, if you want to look at it like that, in a gallon or a liter of gasoline or diesel, whatever you're using. Like that energy is imparted and it's stored in liquid. You burn it, right, and then you gain that energy, versus like a battery where you use it and you gain that energy. But the inability to refuel in remote places is a limitation right now.
Right.
So if you could have like, I don't know.
What are you watching?
Something my brother-in-law just sent me, but I can't hear it, so I'll watch it later.
But if you had something like the size of a car battery, if you could have like 3 of those things and change them out, like problem solved. Or like Taiga, Taiga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but they've got those electric snowmobiles. Dude, their mountain sled or the utilities pretty.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like, what happens if something happens and you're stuck out there? Like, at least with, and the cold.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is like, how much the cold zaps a battery. And it's like, if you're in negative 20-degree temperatures and your sled's outside, like, do you have to pull your battery pack out and bring it inside so it stays warm?
Yeah.
Like if you have a heat source, like an ice shack or something, like if you're up on Moosehead fishing for a week, like, can you leave that sled out there and then be guaranteed when you walk back? Like that's the unknown part of it that really bothers me, is like, if I pull up to something on a sled and I have 3/4 a tank of fuel, I don't give a fuck if it's a day or 10 days. I still have 3/4 of a tank of fuel. With the battery storage and the way a battery operates, you lose that and it zaps in the winter, unless you do go to a more higher performance, like lithium ion battery, but
right,
they're not really progressing that way in a large scale.
I mean, but battery technology is always advancing, right? So that's
so is solar, but it still sucks dick.
Yeah. But to that point, so the way the accessibility we have for, and by no means am I like pushing the electric thing. Like I have made my bread and butter has been fossil fuels.
Yeah.
I'm like the opposite of like crude oil. That's been my thing. But the beauty of it, right, is that you can have a 5-gallon jerry can, and that is your power. You don't have to
And
worry
that
about it
gets you
getting
home.
cold or hot or whatever else. It's just fuel. So Skidoo, I think it was them. I believe it was them. They came out with a hydrogen fuel cell. So you need to be able to get hydrogen, but
Well, it's the same thing with like the CNG trucks. Like
Sure.
there's a couple companies around here that use CNG powered, big trucks, like 18 wheelers.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool, but find me a CNG fucking filling station.
it's just all
Like, yeah, they work really awesome. They're very efficient. They're way
Right.
more efficient than a traditional combustion engine, whether it's diesel or electric.
Yeah.
But are you going to be able to find, and it's similar to like the battery charging in like cars and stuff. It's like, yeah, we saw a charging station in Jackman.
that was kind of cool.
Okay, cool. But before you get to Jackman, where was the last charging station? It's like Jackman isn't the closest spot. You know what I
And
mean?
then typically, if you're driving a Tesla, how much time do you want to spend in Jackman?
Right.
But I think, but to that point, I think more people are kind of getting away from like the stigma of like, not to talk politics, but the only way you drive a Tesla is you have to be one of these friggin', it's friggin' snow. I mean, dude, fuck, like a Tesla, you'd smoke just about damn near anything on the drag strip.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad.
The Tesla Model S plaids are fast as fuck.
They're pretty cool to watch drag race too.
Yeah. It's very
Because-
odd that it's dead silent.
Yeah. It's weird.
And that's sort of where I'm like, I still have that red-blooded American where I want to hear fucking metal clanging, spark plugs fucking singing, like that Jiffy Model fucking 30. Just give it to me all day. I want to hear that thing at 5:30 in the morning on a fucking lake and wake up every motherfucker within fucking 100 miles.
You know what my favorite thing is?
When the pull cord breaks, fucking day one in a Moosehead trip.
When I've punched 5 holes with my silent striker ice, and then you're still friggin' fighting the 25-to-1 fuel trying to get that thing down that carburetor.
And then the pull cord breaks.
The pull cord breaks, and you can hear Hugh's name echoing for miles.
Yeah.
Like
Hugh's
Kimio
name-
just echoes it right back.
His name echoed off a fucking Katad.
I fell out of my chair in Elliott. It was like the something is disturbing the force.
Someone's calling my name.
Oh fuck.
Garrett just broke his ice auger that I sold him.
Hugh, what was that question you were asking? I didn't mean to pull us that.
Oh, it's all right. It was kind of a weird one. Where's the weirdest place you guys have peed?
Ooh.
Most public or weirdest?
Weirdest. I guess it could be public too, because that's probably weird.
I mean, I've literally pissed on a car tire in downtown York Beach at the beach.
Yeah, I've done
Probably
that.
my most public. We did that together, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Weirdest spot I ever took a leak. I do often have the thought of like when we're off like bird hunting somewhere or even duck hunting, like stand there, take a piss. Like, has anyone else ever pissed in the exact spot that I'm taking a piss right now?
This is true.
I do that a lot on the ship. I'm like, I'm not going to walk back and pee in a toilet just for it to be flushed out. So I'll just pee over the side. So you're like 1,000 miles from everything. And I'm just like, has anyone else peed here?
That's right.
But I think the weirdest place was in a, not proud of it, had a few adult beverages. And it was an elevator down to the subway in New York. That was not good. It was a little embarrassing.
The other day, I was killing time before a doctor's appointment.
I'll take one of them.
So I was in. I was sitting down at Long Sands in my truck, and I had to piss bad. So I grabbed a Coke bottle and I pissed in my truck.
Those are hard to make it in.
Those.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
That's tough,
I,
dude. Good for
I
you.
laid the seat back.
Thank God for tinted windows, huh?
Oh,
Yeah. Put my steering wheel all the way up.
ugh.
Like unbutton my pants. Like I was at that point, I was pretty much like laying flat, and I'm just
Keeping an
looking
eye.
around.
Just like, yeah, no.
And then the bottle started to get full.
That's danger.
That's the danger zone. Because I have
Yeah.
done. I don't want to try and one up you, but you did just remind me of a story of how I used to drive home from Castine.
Keep a Gatorade bottle in your truck, Hugh.
So
Yeah.
Gatorade,
Wide mouth.
yeah, Gatorade wide mouth, good. Although if you can keep the 30-ounce or 32-ounce ones,
How big is an average bladder?
I have no fucking idea. But I had just one of the regular, like whatever, 20-ounce Gatorades. And I used to, when I was driving home from school, obviously, you know, the main goal was to get home to go get drunk somewhere. So we don't want to stop anywhere. We are in a race against the clock. We are going to beat the GPS time. So I went, I had a hard center console in my 94 F-150. And I had captain's chairs in the front that you could flip the armrests up. So I'd set cruise control, slide over, because I didn't want to pee on my seat because it was a cloth seat. So I'd set cruise control at 70 going on the fucking interstate, slide over, put my bare ass on the fucking hard plastic center console, and then pee into the Gatorade bottle there while I'm going down the road, fucking steering with my left hand, fucking peeing with my right.
That's impressive.
Into the Gatorade bottle, and then slide back over, put it in the cup holder, put the cover on, trucker bomb, see ya. And then keep the cruise control on, try and steer with one leg as you pull the pants up and fucking keep hammering down the highway. So probably the front seat of an F-150 going fucking 75 down the highway might be my weirdest place I've ever peed.
So the healthy adult human bladder should hold between 16 to 24 ounces. And I think that's a load of crap.
I've definitely held way over 24 ounces.
Yeah.
You ever get those mornings after either, you know, you're being a good human being and hydrating yourself, or you've drank copious amounts of beers?
You're a bad human being and hydrating yourself.
Yeah. With barley water.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you take that first piss. And you ever get bored peeing? And you're like, God damn, This is taking the longest. This is the longest time I've ever stood in here.
Or you ever do that and you pee, and then like 10 minutes later, you got to pee again because your bladder finally like
shrunk back down. Was like, oh no, motherfucker, you're still full.
Yeah, there's still another beer can.
Yeah.
So speaking of all this, I'm going to go take a piss real quick because I have to pee. So,
I mean, we can wrap it up if you want, or do you want to keep listening? You can listen.
I'll keep listening.
You want to mute yourself so we don't hear you splashing the fucking porcelain there?
Nah, you'll be all right.
All right, cool.
It's long enough. I can just stick it right in the water.
There you go.
Like a bubbler.
No splashback.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, I've had a terrible run with aerators lately. Going back to ice fishing. So
Quite a segue.
But it'll make sense here in a minute.
Long hoses, you know.
Long hoses. You're talking about bubbling. You know, here we go. That's how I get back to ice fishing. But I bought, and this is on me because I didn't take good care. I normally take pretty good care of my shit where I don't like to leave it out and like it to be exposed to the elements. But this particular thing, I left out my Fraybill brand new bait box. And when I fired up the old stone this time, it apparently is clogged, which I didn't know those stones could get clogged. I understand why they can.
I think what happened is it kind of deteriorated. Did you see in the bottom of it now, those black stones?
Yeah.
They're like roasted.
Yeah.
And they're disintegrating.
Yeah. Well, so my stone in my Fraybill froze up on me and shut the pump down to the point of like the pump wouldn't even work. Pulled the stone off, the thing just blew big bubbles. So it was kind of like you stuck a straw in there and you're just blowing bubbles into the air. So that was fine. But then went to set up the bait tank at home, grabbed the fucking air pump and the two stones that we had, which were sitting up dry, should have been good. Walked over, dropped one, broke a fucking chunk off it. Motherfucker, here we go. Then pick that all up because we hadn't transferred everything out of my Freyville yet. And then went to set it back up the other day, fucking walking over with the other stone, drop the other stone, fucking break that motherfucker right in half.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you did a number on that.
Yeah, that one was done. So
earplug, fix that.
Yeah.
But
they should have a better system.
Well, what I was going to say, they don't call that what do they call that? Freyville bait tank? Bait station. So that aerator, there's no vent.
There is no vent, and that is a fucking huge design flaw that I'd love to talk to Freyville about.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a Yeti cooler. It is an airtight cooler.
Yeah.
That you are forcing air into.
Yeah. Nice gasket. I mean, it's great. It doesn't slosh water all over the place.
But you have to fucking crack it. Because the pump will eventually over pressurize that cavity. Because it happened to us on the Moosehead trip. It happened to us on another trip last year.
Yeah. I think
it's just a poor design. Like, why would you not have
it's a great
station. Cooler. Yes, absolutely.
Great cooler. But yes,
you need an air relief in there to allow the pressurized air that you're forcing in to then escape the cavity, because guess what? When you blow air in and it turns into bubbles, it goes up and it then creates higher pressure.
Yeah.
That's how air pressure works.
Yeah. But they've had a lot of success with those. I mean, there's 3 sizes now. There's a 13, the 19 that you've got, and then they got the big 30 liter.
Yeah.
Which has 2 aerators.
Right.
With a division wall.
A divider.
And I don't understand, are we not doing it right? I understand you don't have to use the aerator all the time, but when you have that much bait in that little water,
you got to use your
aerator, because those fish are going to haul all that oxygen out of there. So there's got to be some sort of, and
I haven't done any Googling on it. Maybe that'll be tomorrow's thing. I've started looking at ice suits.
You were saying that. You haven't pulled the trigger yet.
I like the striker or the clam. I really like the striker stuff because you can get some stuff that's not just the clam is all bright blue. And it's like, I don't need to look. I already
be a Smurf.
Yeah. Be a big old blueberry out there.
Yeah. They do have that cool.
Makes sense.
They've got that cool Arctic camo.
The striker does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it? The Apex, whatever. That stuff's pretty cool. But those float suits, dude, those will save your life if you're walking on really sketchy ice.
Well, and so part of me, and this is the reason I almost pulled the trigger on it last year and I didn't. And then because my thought process is I'm at a point in my life where I'm not going to be the dumb person to push it on. Last year, New Year's Day was not super smart, but it also, I mean, we had 3 inches of ice.
There was a little more than 3,
and it was black.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear.
It was
crystal
hard ice. It wasn't it was all kind of, shaley shit. It was good ice. When you stack 5 people around a hole to watch a fish come up, now that might be stressing that little area with, probably 1,500 pounds of people around a hole. Not the greatest move I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also at a point where I'm if I need a float suit, I am fucked. I should not be putting myself in that type of position. But at the same time, those are built for ice fishing. So they have built-in knee pads. They would save you if an accident happened. I really just want it for the bibs. Well, honestly.
So let me ask you guys this. I mean, you deal with PPE, right? Everyone talks about that in any sort of trade or anything where you've got safety glasses or earplugs or gloves or special bibs, whatever, right? So a float suit's just one more layer of that.
True.
So could you just say you can use a grinding wheel without safety glasses just fine?
Hey, you just go like this.
Yeah, you got safety glasses built in.
Yeah.
But is that smart?
No.
Walking out on 3 inches ice without a float suit. if I like the times when I fish by myself, there's definitely, I have a different standard.
Oh,
which
absolutely.
sounds bad, but I have a different standard of safe ice. I'll go out on 3.5 inches with at least another person. And you've seen my setup. My spud bar's got a long line that I tow behind us, or I got a throw bag or something.
And ice picks on all
ice
the time.
picks on all the time. If I'm fishing by myself, I'm out on like 4 to 5 inches by myself. I got ice like this other day. I was on my 4-wheeler, ice picks around the neck, never took them off. I walked in to get a coffee at Cumbies. I still had them on, didn't even think about it, but it's just one of those layers of safety that you got, so I don't think it's ridiculous, but they are purpose built. It's like, I don't know. I think they're worth the money. They're expensive.
Well, I mean,
talking $600 for a suit.
Oh, well, for top and bottom. Yeah. But really, when you look at you go and try and buy, like, I mean, the bibs I was looking at today are on sale right now for $200. And it's like, find another pair of snowboarding bibs.
That's true.
For $200.
That's true. And I've got like really nice hard shells, but I don't really want to put a hook through them.
Right.
And that goes back to my whole thing of, I'm a purpose built person when it comes to gear. I don't like gear sharing. I don't like to say like, oh, I'm going to go use this headlamp to go ice fishing. I will go buy another headlamp because I have my headlamps for duck hunting, and then I have my headlamps for use around the house type of thing. Like, I'm fucked.
And I show up to duck hunting with my headlamp from oil tank diving, neon yellow.
But at the same time, like, you look at like your snow gear and like that's purpose built. Like, you're not going to go out and like split firewood in the middle of winter with that.
You're right.
And that's where like George is like, yeah, I'll just wear my waders fucking ice fishing. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's fine if that's what you think is your warmest pair of boots, and I don't want to listen to you bitch. So absolutely do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because whatever you decide to do, that's on you. And I'm not going to get blamed for any of this bullshit. I don't want to listen to his fucking hands are cold. My toes are cold.
And I mean, neoprene floats.
This is true.
You might go feet up, but
yeah, they go feet up. And I mean, the good thing about being a little extra, you create a good seal on the inside of the waders. So
not much water gets in.
No. Well, you and I can both attest to that.
Yep.
Like a plug in a pipe, ain't fucking shit getting in.
Pig in a pipeline, Bubba.
All right, boys. I gotta go take my medicine.
You ought to fucking go hack down about fucking 16 more fucking Marbreads, bud.
Right.
You sound like fucking Sam Elliott.
It's the wood stove in this house. I like it, but it just like dries everything out.
Dry. You get congested.
Dude, our house sits at a constant 20% humidity.
Yeah, it's dry.
All the time.
It's dry.
Yeah.
And that's the one benefit to having a wood stove, is you can put like a what are those fucking things called on top?
The humidifier.
Yeah, but like the cast iron Dutch oven type one with like the cross hatching, where you can rehydrate the air a little bit with that. Until someone forgets about it, but
it's what it is.
It is dry. I wake up in the morning,
dry.
Like, it's like you have cotton mouth, but haven't actually smoked anything. But
well, hey, thanks for letting me come chat with you guys.
Always
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Always welcome.
Better than the two of us just sitting here shooting the shit, saying stupid shit.
Right.
But I think this is going to wrap up the old episode 64. 5 left in the season.
Yep.
May 29th is our 3-year anniversary, just in case you were wondering.
I can't believe it's been that long.
3 years of these dumb fucking
I think it's great. You guys have been kicking butt. I'll tell you what. I sit there on the ship and I play you guys, and I feel like I'm back in the old fly room listening to you, everybody shoot the shit. So a lot of people mine. I was in Vietnam and I was like, oh, thank God I got someone sane talking to me.
Yeah. Evan is responsible for all of our analytics across the globe.
He is.
We don't actually have people that are listening in fucking Southwest Asia, but
It's just Evan.
just Evan.
Just me. But I turned a couple guys on. Bunch of guys that I ship with, they listen to you guys. So
I apologize to all those people in advance for the
Shoot.
coming retardedness. But hopefully, I'd like to try and get into a couple more interviews. Maybe the dog officer in York. I've been trying to talk to a guy on the old TikToks. I believe he's a Hancock County sheriff canine. He's got a big following though, so we might need to start a little small. But if anybody else that listens thinks of anybody that we should interview or has ideas of people to reach out to, more than welcome to send them in. Text us, hit us up on the socials of medias. And yeah, that's about all I got. You, closing thoughts, motivation?
Keep your powder dry.
Keep your powder dry. Okay.
That's about it.
Fucking Colombian Bam Bam powder.
Yep. The white girl.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, folks. Peace.